In Mozambique, over the past week, aside from the couples dancing cheek to cheek, there was jihad activity. And Mozambique's president, Felipe Jacinto Nyusi, he confirmed that in the Nampula province, 6 people were beheaded and 3 others were abducted. Now, interestingly, he said that the jihadis had been trying to recruit people in Nampula province and were unsuccessful. And he said, therefore, they are very nervous. And he ascribed these beheadings to their nervousness. What on earth do you think that he could possibly mean by this, David?
I have no idea, because, I mean, I'm totally detached from reality.
Yeah, I do think he's totally detached from reality.
We just want to be clear. That is not something that jihadis invented. That was the promise from Muhammad. And that was when he really started getting tons of followers. I mean, he preached for over a decade in Mecca and didn't win a whole lot of followers. These weren't exactly Billy Graham crusades with, thousands of people coming forward. It's when the message of Islam became, hey, join me. And there are only 2 possibilities. You survive and we split the spoils, or you get killed and you go get your virgins in paradise. So either we beat these guys and we take their women and daughters for ourselves, or you die and you go to paradise, and there you get your virgins, and you get your I'm not making this up, this is in the Muslim sources, you get your miraculously powered erections. Allah gives you these eternal erections, and then you start having sex with your virgins. But then at night, when the virgin, at night while you go to sleep, after you've deflowered the virgin, Allah restores her virginity.
We have in Uganda a story of Christian preachers, who were preaching on a boat to a group of 10 Muslims. And one of them began to threaten the Christians, saying, if you continue insisting that Jesus is the Son of God, then Allah will kill all of you. And they kept on preaching, and the Muslim guy said, we are giving you one last minute to stop your blasphemy and to convert by confessing the Shahada, or else your lives are at risk. Well, they killed 5 of the Christians.
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? Because, as you know, according to the Quran, it's not, if you're killing them, it's not you killing them, it's Allah who's killing them through you. And so, that threat, hey, if you keep doing this, Allah's going to kill. It's not Allah's going to strike you down, it's we're going to kill you. And then,
yes.
It's Allah doing it through us.
In Libya, a gentleman has been sentenced to death for apostasy, for leaving Islam. Now, the thing is that Libya doesn't have a law against apostasy, at least not officially. But the problem is, in all too many Muslim countries, there's a kind of a cultural hangover of Sharia. So even if the official laws do not talk about apostasy, the Sharia is taken for granted as superseding the official laws. And so if Muhammad said, if a Muslim changes his religion, kill him, then you're going to get people doing that, and you're going to get states sentencing people to death, even though the laws of the land say something about freedom of conscience or whatever. And so in this case, Ahmed Dia, who is a convert from Islam to Christianity, he was required to publish his sentence of death. This was part of the sentence, that he has to post it at his residence, which is just sort of an invitation for vigilantes to kill him, even if he is not executed. And this is all, once again, not according to the law of Libya. It's just Sharia. In a pizzeria in Germany, a Somali Muslim migrant, Abi R., attacked an Iraqi Yazidi refugee, Nayef A., What's interesting is that he attacked the Yazidi. He chased him with a knife, ultimately killed him in a pizzeria, and he explained ingenuously, he insulted my religion. He had to die. In Germany, a Muslim from Afghanistan, what do you think he was yelling, David?
Allahu Akbar.
Your streak continues. He yelled Allahu Akbar. He stabbed 2 random people near the train station in Ansbach. We should note that the Islamic State has frequently called for random attacks on citizens in Europe in particular. Still in Germany, we have a couple arguing in their apartment, and the man took out an axe and began hitting the woman with the axe, killed her in the Friedrichsfelde district of Lichtenberg on Lohenberger Strasse. Yeah? A polio vaccination team being attacked in Pakistan and 4 people killed. And I noted that there have been many Muslim clerics, and notably in Pakistan and Nigeria, who have said that vaccinations for polio are a Western conspiracy to sterilize Muslim children. And consequently, they kill the polio vaccine workers. And so I thought, well, that means it's jihad. Actually, yeah, I have the lesbian activists in Iran story queued up here in my women's section. So that is indeed what they were demonstrating about in Germany. Zahra Siddiqui Hamadani and Elham Chubdar were handed death sentence in the Revolutionary Court. That is the Islamic Revolutionary Court. And you know what's interesting also, David, is that Zahra Siddiqui Hamadani and Elham Chubdar, they were also accused of communication with anti-Islamic Republic media channels and this is the kicker, promoting Christianity. Now these are 2 lesbians. They were not promoting Christianity. But it's an interesting example of how Islamic entities generally tend to conflate everything that's happening in the West and the United States with Christianity. In India, we have this is not a dumb infidel story. This is a war is deceit story. Who said war is deceit, David?
Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah, I almost called you Muhammad. It's terrible. I'm getting old. He said that he was a Hindu, called himself Shiva in India, and he went into a Hindu temple. But once he was in there, he began to trash the place because he was not a Hindu. He was a Muslim named Tawfiq Ahmed. And he damaged an idol, damaged a religious flag before he was stopped. Now, this is in full accord with Islamic law, is it not, Dave?
Yep. And we saw Muhammad allowing his followers to do this if they needed to go, even if they needed to go kill someone.
Yes. And that was that was one of the permissions that he gave to Maslama, one of his followers, that he could lie to him and deceive him in order to get close enough to him to kill him. Because Ka'b ibn al-Ashraf, the targeted person, had insulted Muhammad. So, back over to Indonesia, we have the Communion of Churches in Indonesia. And they are upset because there was a group that was building a church in Cilegon City, in Indonesia's province of Banten. And they were busy building the church when an Islamic group that called itself the Committee of Local Wisdom Savior. The Committee of Local Wisdom Savior. I'm not quite sure how that makes any sense, but they staged a protest demanding the denial of permission to build the church, whereupon the government indeed revoked permission to build the church. Here is an interesting story out of Somalia. 18 people killed as Muslims attacked trucks filled with relief food in Hishabelle State in central Somalia. These trucks were transporting food to Mahas town from Baladweyne city, and they were set upon by Al-Shabaab, the Jihad group. 18 people killed. Now, why on earth would jihadis want to destroy relief and food that was going to help people?
Well, if it's helping their enemies, this is something that happens over and over again with with ISIS and in Syria and all over the place. They want people to have. They want the only alternatives to be either we rule according to Sharia, or nothing but pain and death and chaos. Because they know if people have the choice between Sharia and something better, which is almost anything, they'll choose almost anything over Sharia. But if the only options are chaos and starvation, then people might submit to it. And so those are the options that they want to lead people with.
And of course you can find all this on jihadwatch.org, the source of all these news stories, with the sources if you are skeptical about anything that we're saying.
Dear Muslim friends, if your Muslim leaders cannot properly represent Allah, the Quran and Muhammad, do you expect them to properly represent the Bible? If they lie to you about the Quran and the Bible, what else are they lying to you about? If you choose the God of the Jews and Christians, you must read the scriptures of the Jews and Christians to know their God. If you like what we do, please support this channel by subscribing and pressing the bell to be notified when a new episode is uploaded. Also, don't forget to like and share.